Hey, I'm back, and so I'm going to just pick up where I left off, and I was trying to debug my instance rendering. So when I run my game, it just doesn't crash, but it's just frozen with a white screen. So I'm just going to start from the top where I'm initializing it, work my way down, and just see if I see anything wrong. Starting here with the shaders, so I got the vertex blob, pixel blob, instance blob. Vertex blob is getting compiled. Then it's checking for errors. The instance blob is getting compiled. The pixel blob is getting compiled. Create the vertex shader with the vertex blob's buffer pointer, the vertex blob's buffer size. Vertex shader there. Create vertex shader again with the instance vertex blob. Oh, with the instance vertex blob there as well. So that hopefully fixes it. Let's see. There we go. Oh, and I get the Suzanne face. Okay, so I think it's technically rendering, what, 255 of them, but they're all in the same spot. So what I'm going to do is this. So I'm going to translate each matrix by, I don't know. So vector 3, I'm just going to translate them along the x-axis. So I times, I don't know, 5, 0, 0. So let's just see, I should get a big long row of monkey heads if this works. Vector. Hey, alright. There we go, that is cool. So, and all of these monkey heads are being drawn with one draw call each frame. Yeah, and eventually I'll get to the end there. Alright, that is good news. I got it working. So now I just need to kind of formalize it a little bit. Formalize it and clean it up. So I don't know what the best way to do that would be. Let me see. How big am I setting the buffer size to be? 1 megabyte. Let's see, that's, I don't know if this, I don't think this is gonna crash anything. Nah, it's still pretty small, still less than a gigabyte for sure. Still less than 100 gigabytes, or 100 megabytes. Okay, so I made that just bigger just to see how much I can get away with, and then I want to, yeah, I think so. Just every frame I'm going to map that buffer as well. So I have here float, vertex, yeah, textured mesh vertex pointer. So I'm going to make another one of these that are going, it's going to be the textured mesh. No, the instance, yeah, they're losing my mind here. So instance matrix. Yeah, I'll just call it matrix, instance matrix pointer. There we go. Getting words out. So yeah, basically I just want to do what I did here. Where? Oh, here. There. Let's kind of do all this stuff again. Just do it one line at a time. So I don't know if I want to do that every frame or not. I probably don't. I mean, because it's really meant for stationary objects as far as I can tell. I mean, I'll do the same kind of thing when I do particles, but it'll be slightly different, I think. Okay, yeah, so then when I render, actually, yeah, I don't have to do anything. I just have to update the vertices. So let me do this. Let me now, yeah, it's like a whole huge thing. Sorry, I'm just thinking out loud. Okay, yeah, so I'm gonna try to put this into my game state here. Let me get rid of this test code I was doing here. Well, actually, no, hold on. I'm gonna leave that there for a second. I'm gonna try to rethink about how I want to do this. Because I probably just want to repurpose this textured mesh buffer. Not repurpose it, but build upon it. Or maybe have a separate one for instances. I don't know, this is tricky. I'm going to start with a separate one for now, and then if I can figure out that they can be combined, I'll combine them later. But I'm going to call this textured mesh instance buffer. Okay, so it doesn't need positions or scales or orientations because all that's going to be set ahead of time. It needs textures, index counts, index offsets, total meshes. Does it need that? It needs different stuff. Yeah, so I think it needs these total meshes probably. But then it also needs something else. It needs U32. It's number total instances. We'll try this. Instance counts. And it'll also be max textured meshes. So when you add a textured mesh instance to the buffer, you're going to say what mesh to render, and you're going to say how many to render. And it's going to just be assumed that you have set that many instances in the buffer ahead of time. So yeah, okay, so I think I'm getting an idea of what I want to do here. Can't find the add texture mesh to buffer function. There it is. Okay, so I wanted to kind of copy this and modify it to do add textured mesh to instance buffer. So it'll take the game state, it'll take the mesh, it doesn't need that. And it'll say U32 total, or I'll say instance count. Oh yeah, I guess the game state would need one of those buffers, wouldn't it? Okay, so these can go away, but then I need to say that this index counts at index is equal to instance count. Did I say index counts? No, instance counts. It is instance counts. What is index counts? There we go. Okay. So now render textured mesh buffer. So I'm going to make a function that renders the instance mesh stuff. Actually, it'd be better if I copied this and modify it. Render textured mesh buffer. Alright, hold up, am I doing anything with the textures? Yeah, I am. Okay, great. I think that's it. Alright, draw index instance, and then here I'm going to put tmb instance counts at I, and then, uh-oh. There we go. And as far as I know, this is always going to be 0 here. Okay, what errors do you want to give me? None. Wow. Alright, I guess the next thing to do would be to try it. That's the scariest part, isn't it? Writing, it's the easy part. Okay, so I'm going to take that away I'm going to take that away. Right, is that the right one? Yeah. But then after I render the textured mesh buffer, I want to render textured mesh instance buffer, passing in the address of game states textured mesh instance buffer, passing in the game states camera, passing in the game states light, and that be all as far as I know. Alright, when I run that, it works fine, but I do remember I need to set this. Whew, almost forgot that. Uh-oh, now I get an error for that? Total meshes right there. Oh, I put this in the wrong spot, I think. No, I didn't. Textured mesh instance buffer. Total meshes. Check it's right there. What are you complaining about? Online 1079. Oh, this I'm looking in the wrong spot. So it is complaining about that one. Textured mesh. I guess in this case I don't need to do that. Yeah. There we go. Okay, so they all disappeared, which is what I would expect because I took away all that code, but then now I need to put it back here. So let me give the game state just some generic textured mesh. Alright, so now when I initialize that game state, what I want to do is initialize that mesh. Guess here's fine. Instance text test mesh is equal to state dot os functions dot create textured mesh from file. Alright, that's happy, and then when I run it, nothing, but then if I go to update, I guess here, it's fine. Add textured mesh to instance buffer. Pass in the game state, I'll pass in the address of states, instance mesh, instance test mesh, and then I want, say, 10 of them. Okay, I got, looks like one of them. Index counts. And render mesh instance buffer. Instance counts. Because I'm still setting the, oh, but I am mapping in that. Oh, but it's not overwriting or anything. wait, what if I do this? Not that I think it will matter. Wait, maybe I want to do this first. I say that's that plus 20. Actually, maybe 10. Yeah, it doesn't move. So I think mapping it is changing things. Let me try to disable that for now. Should have done these separately. There we go. Still just the one. Total meshes is 1. That's what I would expect. Go in here. We got, I'm going to get the buffer here. So textures, who cares? Index. Why is index counts so large? That's weird. Yeah, index count is 10 there. And then TMB index counts. Oh wait, I'm looking at index counts, not instance counts. What am I doing? Am I messing something up here? No, not instance counts. Okay. I'm looking at the wrong thing. Jeez, what's going on? Okay, you I don't care about. Keep going. So you, TMB index counts. I don't care. Instance counts. That's what I'm looking for, which is 10. Okay, that was what I wanted to see. So here, when we're drawing, oh yeah, because I'm binding the wrong shader. Instance vertex shader. That should do it. And there it is. All right, there's my 10 things. Okay. So now let me see if I cannot, or yes, position them differently from the game state. Yeah, I can do this. So for 32i equals 0, I is less than 256, I plus plus. Let me do this. F30, no. Matrix 4 pointer IM equals the state instance matrix pointer. That should actually be move this up here. A matrix. All good. Okay, now the thing I'm doing here is setting IM at I equal to matrix 4 And then I want to give them each a different position, so yeah, alright, so I want to say that, let me just get them all separately. So vector 3, pause is, don't I have those functions, random generated functions, random u32. Random u32, so that'll be that, so, let me do this separately here. F32, no, hold on, u32 px, random u32, but I want to mod that by 256, and then subtract 128 from that. I guess this can be signed too, it doesn't really matter. And then I want to say vector 3 position with px, py, pz, and then vector 3 scale is just 1, and then quaternion will be actually q, and then I'm just going to rotate q, the address of q rather, along the y-axis, and I'm going to just rotate it a random, do I not have random F32? Thought I did that, but I guess not. There we go. So that'll give me a random number between 0 and 1, and then I can find my place, first of all. And once I do that, I can put random F32 times pi. So it'll be randomly generated orientation around the y-axis. So once I generate those positions, then I need to say that I am at I equals build model matrix with pause, scale, and q. Right? Can I do that? Oh, wait, hold on. This is wrong. I need to do this second, or separate. This is going to be get vertical position in terrain, and then this is going to use the states terrain. I guess I need the address of that, and it is going to be a vector 2 of px and py, or pz rather. Cool. All right, that compiles, and it crashes. Oh shoot, yeah, I'm doing this before I'm even mapping the thing. Yeah, I can't do that here. Yeah, because I'm not mapping the buffers until way down here. Oh wait, actually, I'm not even mapping it at all, but this shouldn't really matter, actually. But we'll see. Cannot convert equals from F32 pointer to matrix pointer. Oh yeah. Oh wow, I stand corrected. That seems to have worked. So now I got random monkey heads provided all throughout my... Oh, and then they disappear. Okay, so they're disappearing. So they're starting off okay. But then they disappear when this happens. So when I update the terrain and I update the textured mesh vertices, so just out of curiosity, if I don't do that, okay. Alright, so for some reason, updating textured mesh vertices is causing the monkey heads to disappear. So let me see what might be causing that. Hold on. Yeah, seems okay there. So here, when I write over huh. Just out of curiosity, what if I change this to read, write, discard? Whoa, okay. Not at all what I want. Let me put that back. Oh, and then they crash. So let me run that in debug mode and see if I can get that to happen again. No, we don't. Alright, let me try that one more time. Which way did I go to make that happen? Was it this way? This way? Hmm. Well, I am originally using the temp storage buffer. Is it when that gets overwritten? That would make sense, I think. Let me try. What if I just made it static? Like, ugh. Not static, but just like local to this method here. Or this, yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Or what if I just don't do that at all? Yeah, what if I just did that? Yeah, nothing really, so I'm probably getting rid of that anyway. But then, what if I put that way back down again? Yeah, nothing. Bind vertex buffer. That's what I don't get. This is a completely different buffer, but it's affecting the wrong one. So I bet it's because it's getting set here initially, and then not here, but here initially, and then it's when it maps it, it's because this is happening before it's mapping it for the first time. So let me do this. This is gonna be ridiculous, but let me try this anyway. Let me put this here. Not gonna stay there for sure, but we want to try to see if that keeps them there. And it doesn't. So what is going on? So when I update the terrain, yeah, I think I know what's going on. Maybe not. I don't know. Let me try this. Let me go back here. And here, instead of saying it's a temp memory buffer, where'd it go? Oh wait, I'm in the wrong spot. There we go. Right here. So instead of saying that this is a temp storage buffer, what if I did this? What if I just did something really dumb? I think I tried this before way back when. Oops. Yeah, so that crashes entirely, so that's not a good idea. I didn't think that was going to work. But it is overwriting that data there. So if I'm using no overwrite, does that mean I need to keep a copy of that memory on the CPU side too? Let's try to see if we can figure that out. So resources mapped for writing. The existing contents of the resource cannot be overwritten. See remark. Wait, the existing contents of the resource cannot be overwritten. This flag is only valid on vertex and index buffers. The resource must have been created with write access done. Cannot be used on a resource created with bind constant buffer. We know that. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, so remarks. This enumeration. Blah, blah, blah. So these remarks divided signifies that when the application promises not to write the data that the input assembler stage is using. In exchange, the GPU allows the application to write to other parts of the same buffer. The application must ensure that it does not write over any data in use by the IA stage. For example, consider the buffer illustrated in the following diagram. If a draw call has been issued that uses vertices 4 to 6, and an application that calls map on this buffer must ensure that it does not write to the vertices that the draw call will access during rendering. Okay. However, ensuring this can be difficult because the GPU is often many frames behind the CPU in terms of which frame it is currently processing. Keeping track of which sections of a resource are being used because of calls made 2 to 5 frames ago is difficult and error prone. Because of this, it is recommended that applications only write to the uninitiated portions of a resource, uninitialized portions of a resource when using map overwrite. Okay, so map write discard and map write no overwrite are normally used in conjunction with dynamic index vertex buffers. Write discard can be used with dynamic textures also, however, no overwrite can be used in dynamic textures. A common use of these two flags involves filling dynamic index vertex buffers with geometry that can be seen from the camera's current position. The first time that data is entered into the buffer of a given frame, map is called with rewrite. Okay, so the first time doing so invalidates the previous contents of the buffer. The buffer is then filled with the, okay. That's kind of, I don't think I really fully got that. But it seems like when I'm doing it the first time, I want to use map write discard, and then any subsequent write to the buffer within the same frame should use no overwrite. But if I'm overwriting the whole thing, but I tried using map write discard and that did not have any good effects. Yep, see that? And they still disappear. And I think it's okay, because the very first time I call this, I'm also calling initialize game state. Which makes sense, right? See there, they're not blinking. But then, let me see, where are they all scattered out? Yeah, but then when I go, yeah, okay, so this is the same thing I was having, same issue I was having with my laptop. So they disappear, and then I go to debug mode and go back, and then there they are again. So I thought mapping the buffer once per frame was fixing that problem, but maybe not. See, there's two there. And then they come back, but they don't come back all the time. See, now they... Okay, so this is weird. They're like changing. Oh no, I think the camera look is changing. I don't know what's going on here. Jeez. This is worse than I thought. Okay, so if I go towards this blue pool here, there was one right there, right in front of it. So if I go there and then come back, yeah, okay, so I think they are staying in the same spots. It's just the camera's getting messed up whenever I go from debug mode back. But no, that time for sure it's in a different spot. What the heck? Oh, I guess the terrain. No, I don't know what's going on. I don't know. Well, it looks like I got my work cut out for me still more. I want to go ahead and save what I got here. Git commit. I'll say progress on instance rendering. And saving that. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up for the day. Thank you all for watching. I will see you next time. Bye.